Hello students, in this video we are going to see how to do the texture paint, retopology and baking. So I am going to show the concepts of this so that you can apply on your assignment and complete. For texture paint it's very easy, just go to the sculpting, just scroll down to the tools and you can find paint. Just click on the paint and once you cursor over, so I already switched on X symmetry, so once you switch on and just cursor over, you can see some white fade color happened. That is because of the white color. Okay, so just go and take any color and start coloring. See, it's very easy, very simple. Just take the color and start painting on the model. So no need to worry about any unwrapping and all. Just you can paint how you paint in your Photoshop directly on the model. Okay, so here you can see when I paint in the second stroke, it is just adding more and more darker color. It is because of the settings. So just go here, settings, right side, you can see here we have tool settings and paint settings here. So the strength is 0.6. this is the purpose it is happening like this. You can add a full strength and paint with the full strength, or you can reduce the strength and you can add a layer by layer of colors. And you can also see the same thing here also in the radius and strength. You can also hold your bracket keys to increase and decrease the radius size of the brush, and all other settings also you can just explore like Photoshop. And there is another tool they have given called smur tool. You can also use the smur tool and smur between, and you can smur the colors, mix the colors, and you can work around. So even the smur also I recommend always color if you require increase the strength, but smur always keep the less strength so that you can smur easily, you can mix up easily the colors. So you can see here I am mixing up the colors here, see, so it got mixed. So you can just mix up the colors, you can smur it. Even you can see here the gray color which you are seeing, even that is also a color. So it is just mixing up with the same color. So likewise you can go around and play coloring your model using the brush tool and use the smur tool to smur it. Okay, so once you are done with the coloring, if you go to the shading mode and if you see the model doesn't have those properties because that property is not on the texture, right? So we need to add another node called color attributes. So tell shift A to add the nodes and type color attributes. So when you get the color attributes, connect this to the base color. So now you can see, and now you can take this output with the coloring. So now let's come back. So this is how you can do the texture painting, and you can take it for the render purpose. So the next thing we'll see the concepts of how people do the lower version of the model. So you can see this model got around 1.5k of faces, and this kind of model is very difficult to handle with the animation. So what you want to do, you can reduce the mesh. You can reduce the mesh using the modifier. Okay, so first I'll apply this so that you can see better. So now you can see what is the number of polygon now you got is 12k. Okay, I just applied that, and we got this is the low res what we are seeing now. Okay, so now I want to reduce the polygon. So the first thing is go to the modifier, and there is a modifier called decimate, this one. So once you apply the decimate, okay, so decimate is used to reduce the polygon, but it will not give the proper line flow. But if you are not taking this for animation and if you want to just reduce the polygon of this model, then this will be very helpful. So you can see here decimate, there are three types of option available. So you can reduce this ratio, and gradually you can see the model still looking good, but our polygon is reduced from 12k to 3.9, or you can also see somewhere around 5K. So this is what it has reduced the polygon now. So you can just close, you can see it is a 12K and decimate. So you can use many options. If you completely lower down, see what is happening. So you can plan like what is the number of polygon. So there are three other varieties, other two varieties are there. You can just increase this to reduce the polygon, and just check what is the polygon it is going to reduce. Okay, so you can also switch on the wireframe and you can see like how really it is reducing the polygon. So whichever works for you, just go and use the option to reduce the polygon. But if you are taking this for an animation, like a facial animation, a character animation, or any kind of animation, according to the animation requirement, you need to do the proper line flow. In the previous video, I told like how we want to do the proper line flow. I showed the basic steps so that you can apply on your assignment. So for example, like there should be one polyline flow which we should go around to this face. One should have up to the mouth region so that the jaw can open very easily, and one should have like for the eyebrow animation purpose, eye animation purpose, one loop, and above the nose tip up to here one loop, and below the nose tip also one loop. Okay, so that we will be having this stretching muzzle animation, and around the mouth also one loop. So this loop you should follow when you are doing a proper line flow for the face. That's what I showed in the previous video, in the previous class, so that you can get an idea how to do a proper modeling for the animation purpose. So in the same way, according to your model, according to your animation, you need to plan the proper line flow so that the poly can do the square stretch deformation very easily. So that is the purpose. So to do this kind of line flow directly on this model which we have sculpted, the term we call it as retopology. Retopology means recreating the line flow according to the requirement. Okay, so this line flow, you can see it is having very dense, and it is not good for animation, and also the file size will be heavy, and we need to do the proper line flow according to animation. So the method we can follow is plane modeling method. Okay, so we can do some plane modeling method, trace around your model, like how you trace the drawing on a sheet of paper. The same way we are going to trace on the model itself to get the proper line flow. For that purpose, you want to use the plane modeling technique. So just I will demonstrate you. So I had taken a plane, I'll just snap to the top view, and what you will do, you just go add a pane and select the edge and tell extrude. So likewise, say for example, if I want a round line flow, what I can do, so I'll go here, like I'll select this, I'll make it to rotate. Okay, I'll go to the 2 edge mode, E for extrude. So likewise, I can go and I can do the plane modeling technique and trace on the surface of the model. So there is one more very useful tool Blender has given for the retopology purpose. It's called Polybuild tool. So you can also use the Polybuild tool, and you can also use the combination of other tools. So I'll select the Polybuild tool, very handy tool. So when you just cursor on the vertex, then you can move the vertex. Okay, so if you cursor little bit over on the edge, then it is highlighting the edge, so that you can just no need to click any shortcut, just click and drag, then it will extrude. Then just cursor over on the vertex and you can move on the vertex. So I'm just showing you how you can handle this Polybuild tool, very useful tool, like this. Okay, so for example, if you have added more segment, and if you want to remove this one of the middle one, then you can hold shift. Okay, so when you hold shift, you can see the red color, orange color one which is coming, right? So that is going to remove the entire poly itself. Okay, for example, so I'll click holding shift, I'll click this. See, it has removed the entire poly. But if you want to remove only the in between edge, then hold shift and just cursor on the vertex. So you can see that orange dot, click and click. So you have removed the vertex. So when you remove the vertex, the following edge also will go off. And if you want to, for example, extrude, or if you want to bring out the poly from here, then you can also hold control. So when you hold control, it is bringing out the poly. So you want to hold the control. So once you get this poly, okay, just click and release the mouse and drag it like this. So I'll show it again. So hold control. So when you get this, okay, this is generating the triangle. I don't want triangle to be generated. I want to just connect, okay, between this area. So hold control. So when you got this highlighted, okay, click once, left click, release the button of your control and drag, okay, like this. And if you want to weld this too, then use the option of snapping tool, go inside vertex mode, okay, and also in the poly build tool, go to the tool settings and switch on auto merge. Okay, once you switch on auto merge, then when you go very closer, see it is snapping as well as it is going to do the auto merge. Cross check whether it has done. See, it has merged now. So this way you can create your own line flow and you can form your own line flow according to the animation requirement. So let's see how we can apply this. I'll just show you a little bit on the face, okay, so that you will get an idea. Then later on, you can continue your assignment given. So I'll just open the model. So let's create a plane and rotate this. I'll rotate to 90 degree. Okay, I'll just keep it very closer, somewhere here. I think snap is on. We'll turn off. Later on we'll switch on. Snap it. Okay, this let's position to the x0. Okay, let it be. So I'll scale this. Okay, I'll position here. So before starting for the model, also I suggest you switch on the symmetry way of doing the model. So for that purpose, I'll just go here, go to tab and Control R. I'm going to add one poly. So it is in poly build tool, so it is going to apply some poly. So I'm going to go back to the move tool, tell Control R and add. Okay, then I'm going to go for the poly mode, that is 3 shortcut key, delete off of the side. Okay, then we are going to apply mirror modifier. Okay, so now it will become very easy for us to do one side of the model, the other side will be mirrored. Also don't forget to switch on the clipping, okay, so that it will always clips in the center. So now what we can do, I want to trace on this model, right? So you need to take the help of snapping tool now. So go to the snapping tool, go inside and you should switch on this two. One is face project, very useful in the newer version. So switch on the face project and it should project on the individual elements. This also should be on. It should project on individual elements. Okay, face project. And also switch on vertex. How? Hold control and click on the vertex. So control is not working, then let's add shift. Okay, so we used to use several different 3D applications. So different application has different kind of adding the selection. So in the Blender it is shift. So I have selected shift and selected both of it. So now I can snap on the vertex as well as I can snap on the face project, both. Okay, so now it is on. Also cross check in the poly build tool whether the auto merge is on. So it is on. So now we can start projecting. So let's go, let's move little bit so that it will snap on the surface. See, when I move, it is directly going and snapping on the surface. So it has snapped on the surface now. So you can see here. Okay, now we can start tracing it, right? So let's switch on the X-ray mode so that you can see better like what I am doing. So I'm not going to create the entire thing, you know how to do the polyline flow in the previous chapter. Just you want to trace by understanding the line flow requirement for the animation. So click drag, okay, and position, drag, position, drag, position the vertex. So very easy, very simple. Drag, position. So like this you can do your line flow. So it is snapping on the surface of the model only. Snapping exactly on the surface. Like if you find like I want to go for very low poly count, I don't want to add more poly count, then just remove this. As I told, hold shift, just click, so it is showing orange dot, click, and you want to also click here, so it is removed. So likewise you can go on, continue with this. Okay, keep a reference image of the line flow and just go on, continue. Okay, just continue, add, and later on anytime any segment if you don't want, you can always go and remove it, right? I think this doesn't require, so you can hold shift and remove this, and let's keep it as very lower version. So anytime if you want to increase any one of the segment also, that also I can do. That is not a big deal, right? For example, I want to add one more poly somewhere here, so just go back to the move tool, use your controller, click, done. Okay, so snapping is on. If it is giving trouble, okay, then again switch it back, go to the poly build and continue adding. So likewise you can continue. So as the clipping is on, so it is snapping exactly. So likewise you can just go on and continue the line flow according to the requirement. So just add on few more so that you will get an idea. So I have done like as I told, hold control, click, release the control button, drag it. Okay, so I'll do the same again here, and now I am not going to do that one. So I'll just click and drag because I want the line flow to be something like this. See, I'm now exactly tracing on the model. So likewise you need to plan, trace, connect, okay, and go on. So once you are done this retopology according to the animation requirement, the next question arises how to bring the tiny detail which we had done on the model to the lower version. So for that example, I'm going to show on a different concept. I'll just take the UV sphere on this. Okay, so let's add some more polygon for this, and I'll apply this. So I'll take this to the sculpting. Okay, and I'll take a small brush just for demonstration purpose to do a baking chapter. Okay, so this is a exercise for understanding the baking. So let's draw. So it's very low poly, we need to increase a lot. So you can go for Shift R and add more poly, so you can visually see like what is the number of remesh poly we are adding. Okay, that is a voxel size. Actually it is called voxel size. Then Control R to add that remesh. So this is what I had done. You can see the previous video, then you will understand. Okay, see all the videos. All the videos contains the very important chapters. It will make you to understand in a very simple examples, techniques. Then you can do your assignments. Okay, watch all the videos, don't miss anyone, so that it will help you to understand the basic concepts of how to use the 3D tools and do the modeling, texturing, unwrapping, all those. Okay, so let's see. Now it is good amount of polygon we have. I'll just switch on x-axis and I'll turn on this up to 6 times, and I'll snap this somewhere here. Let's do a small tiny design, and let's try to bake this later on. So I have done something, I really don't know, I've just done something so that you'll get an idea like how to bake this detail later on. So just think this detail I want to bring it on a lower resolution model. So once you have a detail, you know you want to do the baking. Once you're done, you want to do the baking of the model. So before baking, what you want to do? You want to do a lower version of the model, right? So I'll go to the layout mode. So this is the very high dense. Let's see what is the dense of this. Switch on the statistics. So it is around 88K. So do the retopology and do the lower version of your model. For now we know this is the basic shape, so I'm going to bring another basic shape. So this is the new basic shape. Switch off this sphere. Let's rename this one. Okay, it will be better for you. This is the high dense model, and just think you had done retopology or decimate, or you have created a new model, anything. And this is the lower version of the model. You can see the lower version is having only 512 polygon, and the high dense model with the detail which is having 88K. So it matters on rendering time. Actually it matters for the animation time, it matters when you play the game, right? So we need to bring this detail on this lower version of 512 face count, so from the 88K face count. Okay, so let's add auto smooth for this. So let it be smooth, let it look smooth. Okay, so what you want to do, you need to have two models. If you are done a face or any complex model, do the retopology and create two models. One is your high model, one is your low poly model. So the next step is we need to bring the detail information of it, this one. So for that purpose, go to the shading mode. So let's see the detail. It's hard seeing here, so just rotate this so that I can see better. Skip the angle. Okay, in this angle I can see better, right? So this is the high dense, and this is the low version. So you need to add a texture for the lower version. So let's add the texture for the lower version. I'll create a metal even. Create a default metal. Shift A, and I'm going to add the texture node, image texture node. Okay, so I'm going to add an image texture node. Shift A, image texture node, this one. Okay, so add the image texture node and create a new one. Give a name that what detail you are going to bring. For example, I'm going to bring the normal detail. Okay, so I'm going to bring the detail as a normal map, and let it be 32-bit of detail. So I created a dummy image. Okay, it doesn't have anything feeded, so I want to feed the value from high to low. So now switch on your high poly. First select the high, second, okay, select the low one holding control, and third select the texture. So this is the order you need to select compulsory. First high, low, then the texture, then go to the render properties. Turn this to cycles, because only in the cycles they have given the baking option. Okay, switch on to the cycles and find where is the bake. Here is the bake option. And what we are going to bake is converting. It is like capturing the detail on the texture. Okay, it is just as similar capturing the detail on the texture, like how you take the photo. So I'm going to capture the detail of this model as a image, so that I can apply it to the lower version of the model. So I'm going to collect the detail, okay, from the higher version. So I'm going to capture the image to the lower version of the model texture on this texture. So I'm going to take a photo and put it on the texture. I hope you have got this idea. So select here, select normal. So this is what I want to collect the map, and tell bake. Before that, there's one more, switch on this one, selected to active, because we already selected the high to low. So tell selected to active. Okay, the selected to active, I'm going to bake it. And what is this? This is the extrusion. So what is the extrusion height? Okay, you want to measure extrusion height, you can go to the measure tool and measure, or experiment. Okay, so I'm going to tell like I want extrusion value to capture somewhere around 0.1. Okay, so let's see. And another very important is if you are done the retopology of the model, your model of the low poly should be unwrapped. Very important. Okay, the low poly should have a unwrapped texture. So by default we know this sphere is already have a unwrap, but still no, if you want, you can just select the entire polygon. Okay, and you can unwrap using the smart UV project or any method according to your model requirement. Okay, so if you want to know how know the basics of what is this tool works, then check out the old video. So do the unwrapping for this model. For now this sphere already got unwrapped. Okay, it is already unwrapped neatly. Okay, so if you want more neat, then just tell unwrap. So I'm just going to apply this. Okay, so unwrap, check with the checker whether unwrap is working properly or not. Once everything is done, then go for it. Okay, so this is one you want to do compulsory. Okay, so let's come back to this. So let's switch on this high poly and select the low poly, which is unwrapped model, compulsory, and which should have a dummy texture. And go to the cycles, switch on the bake, and what information you are going to collect. The normal information which I want to collect now, and select it to active, must and should. And what is the depth of this value? If you want to check the depth of the value, you can also use the measure tool. Here you can click and drag and you can see the depth of the value by click and drag, and you can just see. So what is the minimum depth? Okay, so if you click and drag, see, it is giving the depth value. That's what I am doing here. Okay, so you can snap, go closer and see what is the depth value. So depth value is telling around it is 0.02 okay, like somewhere around 0.02 or 0.05 something. So that is what. Okay, so come back. Once you got everything ready, high, low poly, then add the depth value. I given like somewhere around 0.1. You can just add according to the measurement value also. Okay, let it take the entire detail, then just click on the bake. So if everything works correctly, then you can see this, see my cursor lower, it is telling texture bake, the percentages. Okay, you can see the percentage here. Okay, so and it's done. So scroll down and you can see it has collected the detail. So you can see here it has collected the detail. Okay, so if you have done a proper unwrapping, then you will get a proper unwrapped texture baking. Okay, so unwrapping is must and should for your low poly. Okay, so then once you got it, you know what to do. So switch on the low poly, just apply the texture as a normal map. So this is what we have collected. This is the low poly and this is the high poly. Now I am going to turn off, switch on the low poly one, and let's connect this which we have baked to the normal map. So we need another node. We can see here yellow won't connect with the purple, so we need to add shift A and add a normal map. Okay, so I'm going to add a normal map. So normal connect to normal, color connect to the color, and we got the detail. See, now we got the detail on our low poly. You can switch on here, you can see it is a low poly 512 poly count. Okay, this is the high poly which is having 88k of the same detail. We have captured as a image texture and applied on a low poly model, and we got the same detail. This is how you can do the baking. Okay, you can do baking for anything. You can do baking to capture the detail, you can do baking to bring back the the painted texture. Just quickly I'll show you one more. Just think, go back to the high poly one. Just think you had done a coloring. I'm not going to do any artistic things here. I'll make it to understand the tools. Okay, so select the paint and I'll just paint. Okay, I'm just painting randomly so that you will get an idea how you can mix up both. So I've done some painting. Okay, now I want to just bring this the splat color and take this information and put it on my low poly model. Okay, so how to do that? It's same process only you want to follow. Go to the shading mode, and if you want to see this, as I told, you want to add color attributes. And connect it. So now you can see like what you had done. So I want to bring this information on my low poly as image texture, right? So I want to capture those detail. So then what you want to do is same process you want to do. Okay, go to the lower poly, create a new image texture. Set a new image texture, create new, and this one I'll tell this is for the color purpose, or technically telling this is for diffuse. Diffuse is the surface. Okay, you are going to collect the diffuse color. Okay, I didn't apply diffuse and tell. Okay, so same method, select the high poly first, then select the low poly one, and third select this texture. Okay, it's done. Now come back to the cycles bake option, and here you want to select diffuse. So if you want to bring the color information, tell diffuse. Then if you go to the shading mode, you can see we have a light here. We already have a light, and there is a highlight value, there is a bouncing value of the light, there is a shadow of the light. So everything we can see on this high poly detail. So if you want to bring this highlighted and shadow version, shadow, all this, then keep this direct and indirect, the direct light and the indirectly coming light, all the shadings, shadows and all. If you want, keep this to on, or if you don't want, turn this both and just collect the information of the color. Later on you can play your new lighting. Okay, so go ahead and check both version. Okay, for now I am going to see only with the color. Okay, so turn on. So same, this both, select only the color, selected to active, same thing, everything, diffuse until bake, everything is perfect, then it will bake it. So you can see the process has already started here down below my cursor. So the percentage started. Let's wait for a while. Now you can see it has baked here. Okay, you want, as I told, you want to do a perfect unwrapping. For now it's a rough one. For better unwrapping, you can see the other videos. Okay, so now we have baked and bought the detail of this. We have captured the detail on the texture. Now we are going to apply it on our low poly. So high poly is off. So you can see the low poly already got the detail of the normal. So this one just we want to connect to the color. So now you can see this is the high poly count, which have the sculpted model with 88k of face with the color. The same thing we have collected all to the lower version, which is having only 512 with the same kind of illusion of this sculpted detail model with the color. So this is how you can do this entire process on your model. So first try this like how I showed for you people, understand the concepts of it, understand how the tools works, then apply this on your assignment. Okay, and we'll see in the class hours. Okay, and if you still got doubts, we'll clear in the next coming video. Thank you.